Chapter 25. Gorgan. After some time, me and Shizue visited the nation of Gorgan. We will arrive there after 5 minutes. I bring Shizue, Kajin, and the 3 brothers. And I also brought Valora with us. Why did I bring her? Because she beat the crap out of Valora yesterday, and I need her to calm down. That's why I brought her. Rimuru-sama, who's this young lady? Kajin asked. Right, who's this young lady, Rimuru-san? Shizue asked as well, staring at me menacingly. Listen, she's Valora, I said, and I let Valora introduce herself. It's nice meeting you all, especially you, and Shizue. My name is Rimuru Tempest, and I'm the daughter of the storm dragon, Rimuru Tempest. She introduced herself, making Kajin and the 3 brothers shocked. You're the daughter of the storm dragon, Kajin said. And Shizue said. Yes, I'm indeed the daughter of the storm dragon, and my father and Lord Rimuru are friends. That's enough reason for me to call him my uncle, and your uncle Rimuru's wife makes you my aunt, Valora explains. The reason she's with us is that she and her father had a fight last night, and she accidentally beat the crap out of Valora. I explained every detail, making them a little calmer. Geez Valora, what did you even do to make Valora angry? Now that I think of it, she inherited some of Velzert's violence. I see. It was nice meeting you, Valora, Shizue said with a smile. It's nice meeting you as well, Aunt Shizue, Valora replied. They chatted until we reached Gorgan. Every human and monster looks at us when we arrive, and then Kaido greets us, and the captain of the Pegasus Knight guides us until we reach the palace, where we have a conversation about Melum and Eurasania. Ciel, your nation is growing fast, maybe one of these days it may surpass Falmouth, Gazel said. I see, then the other nation will notice the growth of Tempest, Shizue asked Gazel. Yes, especially now that even Falmouth will notice it, Gazel replied. Speaking of Falmouth, I don't like the king of that nation, Gazel said. Why? I asked, but I already knew why he didn't like the king of that nation. The king of Falmouth is too greedy, he said to me. I don't like their king either, in fact, I think they're planning to attack my kingdom any of these days, I said, and Gazel looked at me. Maybe you have spies in Falmouth? Gazel asked. No, but Yaum told me about that kingdom, about the king and his schemes, I said, and Gazel just sighed and asked me if I needed his help in the battle. If you want, I can just destroy that kingdom, Uncle Rimuru, Valora said, making Gazel look at her. Rimuru, who is this young lady? By the way, I can sense a very familiar aura coming from her, Gazel said, taking another drink. Oh, sorry, Valora, introduce yourself, I said to Valora. My name is Rimuru Tempest. I'm the daughter of the storm dragon, Rimuru Tempest, Valora said, making him spit his drink. What, the daughter of the storm dragon? The captain of the Pegasus Knight said this in shock. Yes, she's Valdora's daughter, I said, and Gazel looked at me. I can't believe you are not only the demon lords, but also the child of Valdora, Gazel said. I was quite shocked about it when I first heard about it, but she has a kind heart, so you don't have to worry, Shizue said. I see, speaking of Valdora, where is he right now? Gazel asked. My father is currently in a different location right now, Valora said. I see, then only a full nation will try to attack your nation, Gazel said. We had a long conversation that lasted about an hour and a half, then I gave my speech to the people of Gorgan. And then I head to my room alongside Shizue. Valora is currently taking a walk to the city, then she heads to the Elves Bar and introduces our alcohol and stuff. We are planning to go home tomorrow morning, then I will finish some paperwork in the office and head to Ingrassia. I don't need to worry about Falmouth's attack because I have Valora guard Tempest while I'm gone. So we're going home tomorrow morning, Rimuru-san, Shizue asked. Yeah, I need to finish all my work before I go to Ingrassia, I said, and Shizue just smiled at me. I see, then we should go to our room. Now have some rest before we go home, Shizue said. You're right, I replied. We then walked together, holding hands. Valora's adventure. I see, so this is how a nation works, I said to myself. Then I headed to a bar where elves work, and I saw Kajin-san with the 3 brothers. Oh, what brings you here, Valora-sama? Kajin asked. Nothing, I'm just going to promote Tempest alcohol here, I replied to Kajin-san. I see, Kajin replied. After I promote the alcohol, I have a drink with some elves, but they're close to me for some reason. Chapter 26. Kingdom of Tempest. We all head back to Tempest in the morning. The pact with Eurasania is already done, they visited us last week. And now all that is left to do is finish my remaining paperwork. Rimuru-san, are you sure you will finish all of this? Shizue said and put more paper on my table. Yeah, I have to go tomorrow. I will go to Ingrassia to save the children, I replied to her, making her smile, and she sat on my lap and hugged me. Thank you, Shizue said, kissing me on the cheek. You don't need to thank me, Shizue-san, I replied to her, hugging her. Haha, but it's the right thing to do, Shizue replied. I think so, I said to her, smiling at her. Valora's Pav. Uncle Rimuru, I have the papa. I cut my sentence short when I saw Uncle Rimuru and Aunt Shizue. Uncle Rimuru was trying to say a word. Sorry to disturb you, I said, leaving the paper on the table and heading out. I should have knocked before I came in. That was embarrassing, and I'm feeling kind of guilty because I disturbed him. But I have a small walk for now. Oh, Dolores-sama, what are you doing here? Rigurd asked me. Does taking a walk is there a problem, Rigurd-san? I asked him. No, Rigurd replied. I see, I said, going to the location of the insect Uncle Rimuru saved. The forest. Oh, Dolores-sama, what brings you here today? Apido greets me. I'm just getting some fresh air, I said. Do you want some honey, Dolores-sama? Zijin asked me. Sure, I think, I said. I haven't eaten anything, so better try it. Here you go, Dolores-sama. Apido gave me a jar. So this is the food my cousin loves. I tried some honey, and I ended up liking it. Now I know why Milim likes this stuff. In the imaginary space. Are you done cleaning, Dolores-sama? Ifrit asked. Kahahaha, of course, Ifrit, Dolores said proudly. Ifrit checks every corner, and it's all clean and well. It's all cleaned now, Dolores-sama. I'm pretty sure Dolores-sama will be happy to see this, Ifrit said. Kahahaha, of course. I put all I got into cleaning this place. I don't want to be killed by Valor. Flashback. Father, you should clean this place, Dolores said. You can clean it for me, Kahahaha, Dolores said. It's your mess, not mine, Father, Valor replied. Kahahaha, if you don't like dirty things, you should clean them, Dolores said. Dolores-sama, have a point. Dolores-sama, it's your mess, not hers, Ifrit said. Kahahaha, it's a woman's duty to clean, so it's her responsibility, Dolores said. After what he said, Valor kicked him in the head. Valor then punches Valor until he turns into a mess. Valor was saved by Ifrit. And Ifrit suggested Valor cool off with Rimuru and Shizue for the time being. Back to Valor. I better not piss her off again, or I die. To think that Dolores-sama was able to beat you up is incredible, Ifrit said. Of course, it's my son, after all, Kahahaha, Dolores said. She's a woman, Dolores-sama, Ifrit replied. Eh? Really, Dolores said. It's really hard to believe that the elegant, beautiful, and kind Dolores-sama is your daughter, Ifrit said. What do you mean by that? Dolores asked. You see, Dolores-sama, your daughter is pretty much mature mentally and physically. But you, Dolores-sama, on the other hand, quite hard to tell, Ifrit said. Back to Valor. Dolores-sama, what brings you here? Trainee asked. Nothing, Trainee-san, just enjoying the view here, I replied. I see, do you want some potato chips? Dolores-sama, I made tons of it, Trainee asked. Sure, thank you, Trainee-san, I replied. I will be taking them here now, Trainee said, going to her self-proclaimed bar. For some reason, all women act differently when they're in my presence. Is it because of my skill, Empress? Maybe I should ask Uncle Rimuru about it later. Chapter 27. The Night Full of Love. I got home early because I wanted to prepare for tomorrow's journey. As I entered, I saw Shizue-san preparing food for the both of us. I finished eating and took a small walk, and after that, I went back. And then I saw Shizue-san cleaning the dishes. Shizue-san is washing the dishes. For some reason, I can't take my eyes off of her nape. Rimuru got behind Shizue and hugged her, then kissed her on the nape. Eh? Shizue is taken by surprise by Rimuru. Rimuru-san, what are you? Shizue asked. Then Rimuru's kiss slowly went to Shizue's neck. Rimuru-san, Shizue said, slowly facing towards Rimuru. Then Rimuru stopped and looked at her red. I'm sorry, Shizue-san, Rimuru was trying to explain, but Shizue kissed him, putting her hands on his shoulder. Then Rimuru's hand slowly went towards Shizue's breast, slowly massaging them. And Shizue moans a little, and then Shizue decides to separate her lips from Rimuru's lips. You greedy, Shizue said, smiling at Rimuru. I'm sorry, Rimuru replied, then kissed Shizue's neck again. Maybe we should do this in our room, Rimuru-san, Shizue said. Rimuru nodded, put Shizue's legs around his waist, and took her to their bed while kissing her. As soon as they reach their bed, Rimuru kisses Shizue. As they kiss, Rimuru slowly takes off Shizue's clothes, one after the other. When he finally takes off the final piece on top, Rimuru starts sucking Shizue's right nipple while playing with the other one. Rimuru, you're like, a baby, Shizue said while slightly moaning. Rimuru's paw. I'm currently sucking Shizue's breast, but my hands slowly reach her womanhood. Then I slowly put my hands in her underwear, and I reach her womanhood, it's really wet. Then I put one finger in. Rimuru, Shizue said. Just hearing her say my name turned me on, so I decided to take off her underwear and look at her womanhood, making her a little embarrassed. You don't need to be shy, Shizue-san, I said, and I put another finger in. It feels good, Shizue said while moaning, and then I decided to use my tongue now. I removed my fingers and used my tongue. Rimuru, Shizue said, pushing my head closer to her womanhood. Then I stop and take off my clothes. Are you going to put it in now, Rimuru? Shizue asked, looking straight into my eyes. Yes, is it alright? I asked her. Yes, please, Shizue said, and I slowly put it in. It's warm inside. Shizue said, then kiss me. She was trying to put her tongue inside my mouth, and I opened my mouth, and her tongue entered. We had a sword fight, but using our tongues. Then I completely entered her inside, and I slowly moved. Rimuru, you so big, Shizue said, making me want to go faster. And every moan coming from Shizue is like music to my ears. Then I put her legs on my shoulders so I could go faster and deeper. Rimuru, kiss me, Shizue said, and I immediately kissed her. We're holding hands while we kiss. The faster I move, the more Shizue's breasts shake. Now we're both completely lost in lust. I feel her nails buried in my back. For some reason, I can feel pain and exhaustion. This lasts about 30 minutes. We change positions a lot, but now Shizue is at the bottom while I'm at the top. Rimuru, I'm going, Shizue said. Me too, I can't hold it any longer, I replied to her after I said that I go all out. Our room is full, and we are lucky that our house is not near others. Rimuru. Shizue screamed and hugged me tightly. Shizue. I replied with one final thrust, and I poured it all inside Shizue. After that, I fell on top of Shizue. Haha, that was great, Rimuru-san, Shizue said. It sure is, I replied, and we slowly fell asleep. Chapter 28. Ingrassia. When I woke up, I saw Shizue-san beside me, still naked like me. Last night was amazing, probably the best one of all. I leave too many kisses and bite marks on her neck and shoulders, though. But put that aside, it's time for me to go to Ingrassia. Shizue-san, it's morning, I said, waking her up. Good morning, Rimuru-san. She got up and stretched, and her breasts revealed themselves. I giggled a little. Is there something wrong? Shizue asked, then realized that she was still naked. And then she covered her breasts with her arms. Haha, you don't need to hide them, I already saw them twice, Shizue-san, I said, making her embarrassed. Don't say such things, Shizue replied. Better not make her more embarrassed. Okay, I stopped, so should we go grab something to eat now? I asked her, and then she nodded. Then we put on some clothes, but my bite and kiss marks on Shizue's neck are still visible. Then I prepared something for us to eat. After that, we headed to the meeting room, and all the executives were there. Then we had the same conversation, and I left the place to Shizue-san and Valor. Speaking of Valor, she's been studying to cook desserts and painting some beautiful views in Tempest. Well, I'm gonna go now, I said to all of them. Please be safe, Rimuru-sama, Shion said. I will pray for your safety, Rimuru-sama, Shuna said. Good luck on your adventure, Rimuru-sama, Hikuro and Benimaru said. Have a nice trip, Rimuru-san, Shizue said, and I gave her a hug and a kiss on the cheek, making Shuna and Shion jealous. Then I headed out. The executives pav. Ho, then I shall go back to the training grounds, Hikuro said and left. Shizue-sama, you had a rough night, right? Haruna appeared out of nowhere. What are you talking about, Shizue said, trying to cover everything that happened last night. Your lies are obvious, Shizue-sama, haha, Haruna replied. What are you saying, Shizue replied. You know, Shizue-sama, we can see all those bite and kiss marks on your neck, Haruna said. Shizue said, realizing that she forgot to cover it. We will leave now. Let's go, Shuna and Shion. Benimaru pulled both of them, and Shion and Shuna were both red from what they heard. Then Shizue ran back home to find a scarf to cover the marks on her neck. Rimuru's pav. I headed to Blum at first because I needed to get an ID so I could enter Ingrassia. And I met Elin and her party on the way. But we headed to Blum anyway. After I got my ID, I continued my journey to Ingrassia. Now I'm here, time to enter, I said to myself, and I got in the line and entered the kingdom. And I headed to the office of Yuki. And he tried to kick me again, but I just stopped it with my finger this time. And I explained everything about saving the kids, and he agreed and took me to their classroom. Gosh, the last time I saw them, they were adults. Hello, I'm your new teacher, I began, but before I finished my sentence, Kenya attacked me with a fire slash, but I avoided it. It's not going to do anything to me, I just feel that what I do is right. Okay, everyone, I'm your new teacher. My name is Rimuru Tempest. I introduced myself and started calling their names like last time. I needed to call Ranga so they would listen to me. And I did the same thing as before, I fought them one by one, whooping their butts. It kinda feels good, but they're still kids, I kinda feel bad, just a little. Then I took out a copy of Shizue-san's mask and showed them so they would trust me. Meanwhile, on Tempest. Shizue is signing papers like Rimuru, but Laura is helping her with it. They finished most of it, but there's still more. Now I know how Rimuru-san feels after work, I said to myself. I even have help, but Rimuru-san does it alone. And Shizue, do you want some snacks before we start again? Laura asked. Yes, please, I said, while smoke was coming out of my head. I'll be making them now, Laura said before leaving the room. Laura is sure a polite kid. On top of that, she's a beautiful teenager. Rimuru-san said to me that Valdora was acting like a child. It surprised me that Valora didn't inherit that side of her father. And she likes arts and books, not manga, just ordinary books. I'm back, Aunt Shizue, Valora said as she entered the room. Thank you, Valora, I replied. You're welcome, Aunt Shizue, she said and took a cookie, dipping it in milk. For some reason, she likes milk and cookies. That's kind of childish, but it's kind of cute after all. Who can't resist cookies with milk?